Hey guys, Dan Gogler here. Revisions and rationale, just kind of going over my assignment 5. These are the revisions rationale for my previous assignment, assignment 4. The assignment was a manifest destiny lesson, basically where I was doing a little bit of teaching the kids how we added land to the United States to make what is now the continental United States, why we did it, and then also, while doing that, kind of an interactive piece of it, and also a population density piece of it going along with it. After doing the lesson, there are a few things I changed, not all of them necessarily technology, but I want to go over those real quick. The first one I would do is I would actually go away from technology in this case. I would have students use hard copies instead of the textbooks for the notes in the digital textbook. Because I have the students moving around, putting themselves into a map on the floor in the classroom. And honestly, it just got me a little worried about the Chromebooks. They were moving around a lot. There was chances of them getting kicked or hit. And it just made me kind of nervous. I know they're expensive, and I know our district would be very upset with me if I ended up breaking quite a few of them. So that's something I changed that I know kind of goes against what we're learning in this master's program. But just for this lesson, I feel like it worked better. And then I could always have them translate that into a Google Classroom into the digital version later. The second revision I would do is I would probably have them take an actual formative pre-assessment. I do an informative preview activity in the lesson, but it doesn't give me a hard data to actually look at where the kids are at the beginning. It doesn't give me their learning characteristic abilities, and it doesn't show me kind of their starting point real well. Just give me a general broad view. So that's something I'd implement in there. The third revision, there's a section in the lesson plan where students are in their groups making decisions, and they have to make a decision that will hopefully allow them to add another piece of land to the map. Add, either the Louisiana Purchase or Texas or the Mexican Cession or Florida, or whatever it might be. And they've got 3 options in my lesson plan that they can choose from. And if they choose correctly, they get to add that piece of land. I think a 4th option would actually make it a little bit more rigorous, a little bit more challenging for the kids. So that's something I'd probably put in there and piece into that, just to make it a little bit tougher. A lot of kids were able to add 4 out of 5 very easily. So I think maybe that 4th option would help that. The last revision I would love to do is kind of a preference. Since I put the map on the floor in the classroom and moved all the seats to the outside of the room, I would love to move this outside, make a more realistic map, do it outside where I had a little bit more space for the map, and I think that would work maybe a little bit better. It did work okay. This is more of a preference thing. I think the realism in the map would, if I used a realistic map instead of just some real generic tape boundaries that just give a vague view of what it might look like, this might allow the kids to picture it a little bit better. So it's just a preference thing, honestly, but something I would love to change if I was able to do it with weather permitting. Um, the questions that I looked at, do the task yield appropriate evidence of the identified understanding? I feel like they do, because the task helped the students understand the original goals and objectives. I saw that kind of the end of the unit assessment when we wrapped that up. Second question was, do the task involve a complex, real world, authentic application of the identified knowledge, skill, and understanding? I feel like they do, because the kids have to use the Chromebooks and technology, which they're going to be using in real world. So they get a little bit more comfortable with that. And they're also using critical thinking skills because they're working in groups. They have to work together. They have to make agreements on decisions, and that's as real world applications as well. Are there a variety of appropriate assessment formats used to provide additional evidence of learning? I said yes, because I do have a formative assessment, but I also have informal discussions throughout the activities, along with another summative assessment that'll be coming at the end of the year that reviews the whole entire course, including some aspects of the lesson that we just went over. Are the students given the opportunity to self-assess and reflect upon their learning and performance? I said yes, because whenever I go over a unit, I absolutely have a self-reflection piece built in where they look at their assessment, they go back through it, they critique themselves and reflect upon it, along with setting goals for the future of how they want to improve and what they want to get a little bit better at. So once again, this was just kind of my revision, my rationale. Thanks for watching.